I'm Steve from the Celtic Farm, and this is a short video in our gardening education series. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, compost tea. You'll learn about this amazing fertilizer that you can make in your home that fits any budget, is organic, and that your plants will love. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to make the assumption that you don't know what compost tea actually is, but I'm sure that you've heard about it, and many of you have probably made your own brew in the past. Compost tea is a liquid fertilizer that you can make quickly and easily by soaking some compost in water and aerating it to create more beneficial microbes over the course of 24 to 36 hours. But unlike other fertilizers, ones that are chemical compositions made in factories, this mixture not only will fertilize your plants with organically created nutrients, but it's also full of beneficial microorganisms that can benefit your plants and your overall garden ecosystem over time. One of the best parts is it's economical to make, sustainable, and if you use the right compost, completely organic. And by the way, it makes a bag of compost or that pile in your backyard go a lot further through the addition of water in the brewing process. So you gardeners are an inquisitive bunch, and right now you're probably scratching your head saying, why don't I just apply the compost? Why go the extra effort and mess with brewing this compost tea? Other than several reasons that I've already mentioned, first is enhanced microbial activity. Through the aeration in the brewing process, you can multiply the beneficial microbes within the compost. When it comes to application, you no longer have to wait for rain or water to soak the compost on the surface and bring the nutrients into the soil. The tea goes right to the roots and can be applied as a foliar application for leaves to absorb. In addition, when applied to the leaves, the compost tea and its microbes can prevent or create a natural barrier towards pests. It's extremely easy to apply. If you want, you can just use your brewing bucket, or you can put it into your favorite watering can to apply to the root ring, or a sprayer in diluted form to apply to your plant's foliage. And finally, last but not least, it provides great efficiency from your compost, the black gold that we never have enough of. You can brew gallons upon gallons in your garden and still have compost left for other gardening tasks. The best part is you can make your brew with just a few household items. Obviously, the first material needed is compost. You can use your own, or you can buy compost or worm castings at your local nursery or home improvement store. Next is water, clean water. What do I mean by clean? Most households have some trace chlorine within the watering system. This can be detrimental to plants, but also to the microorganisms that you're trying to multiply within the brewing process. As for a container, you can use anything you have that'll hold water, a bucket, a watering can. You can recycle a container or use just about anything. You need cheesecloth or a strainer if you're going to pour the brew into a watering can or use it in a sprayer. Otherwise, those large chunks that might be in there can cause your applicator to become clogged, and that really stinks. Lastly, you'll need some way to aerate your witch's brew, so you can buy an aquarium bubbler for under $10 at Walmart or online. You can even find them in thrift stores. If you don't want to buy one, you can just mix the brew several times a day over the course of the brewing time. Now for the fun part, let's talk about how to brew. Brewing is a simple process, and essentially you just need to add your compost and water in the correct proportions, let it steep, and aerate. From a proportion perspective, you want to go ahead and use 2 cups of compost for every gallon of water. This provides the proper dilution and will make your compost go a long way when it comes to mixing the tea. Next, add dechlorinated water to the brewery. Once you've got your water and compost in your brew container mix the concoction extremely well. This provides initial aeration and can also break up chunks of the compost you may have. Try and break apart as many as you can. Now the brewing process begins for 24 to 36 hours, and you'll have to aerate and brew your mixture. Place your aquarium bubbler into the bucket tubing. Use something to weigh it down, and you can use a rock or some other heavy object, which will give you optimal bubbling and aeration. If you don't have the bubbler, just mix the mixture several times a day and start the brewing process. So now that we have some background, let's get going on our brewing process. Collect your list of items and set up a working area. Go ahead and grab your compost. In this case, I'm actually using worm castings. I'll grab my bucket and scoop. And we'll go ahead and take out some of the compost. I'm actually going to use the whole bag. You can see here that I'm going to go ahead and use a little more stronger concentrate. I'll do it with about a fifth of compost to water. We'll go ahead and crush up some of the bigger pieces. Then I'll grab my water and put it in. This is actually well water, so there's no chlorine in it. I haven't chlorinated the well for quite some time because it's an irrigation source. So I know that my water doesn't have chlorine in it. I test it routinely. So we'll go ahead and fill up. You'll start to see things break down. And by the way, once the brewing process is complete, you'll get kind of a beautiful gold brown type of liquid. That's what you're shooting for. As the process continues, it'll get darker and darker, just like your tea does when you're brewing it and creating it in the morning, if you're a tea drinker. So as we fill the bucket here, we'll go ahead and get it ready. And once I've filled the bucket, I'm going to reach in and start breaking up some clumps. You can see that I've got some big clumps in here. You can do it with your shovel. And this also kind of starts the initial aeration process. As I mix it, starts to break it up, adds oxygen to the water, which is the most critical step in the creation of this compost tea. So go ahead and mix it. And then after I've mixed it, I'm going to start the aeration process. So you can see I have my bucket here. Got some stuff floating on the top. That'll be filtered out later with some cheesecloth. Some looks like I prepared it in the same area that we do our lavender, so I've got a few lavender buds floating in the top. So I'll go ahead and get my my bubbler started. This is one I bought at Walmart for $7 a while back. I'll go ahead and put it in. We're gonna have to weigh down the end. You can't just throw it in or it'll float on the top and you won't get true aeration from the bottom. So you can see what happens when I just set it on the top. So we'll go ahead and add some nuts that I actually found on my workbench. These will weigh it down. You can use a rock or some other heavy object in the bottom. Tie them in a loop, toss it in, and you can see the bubbles starting there from the aerator. Over the next couple hours, I typically come in and do some manual stirring as well. You can see the bubblers still working, just to kind of kickstart things and get it all going. Let the bubbler do its work for about 36 hours. One thing I failed to mention on the bubblers, you've actually got a backflow valve. This will keep from getting the compost material into your pump when you shut it off. Make sure that you put it in the right direction from a flow perspective. When the 36 hours is over, now you can go ahead and grab your mixture, grab your watering can if you're going to use it, and then use the cheesecloth to filter out the mix. You can see here that my mixture is a nice pretty golden brown. If I would have left it the full amount, it would be darker, but now you can go and apply it. Once your brewing process is complete, you'll want to apply the compost tea quickly to the garden and your plants. There's a couple different ways you can apply it, and it can be as simple as pouring the bucket contents around the root zones of your target plants. You can put it into your watering can, but be sure to filter it with cheesecloth or the strainer. For advanced application, you can put it in the sprayer and spray the leaves and foliage, as I mentioned. Be very careful if you do this. If you create a higher concentrate tea, you may burn your leaves. Most gardeners will apply to the soil, and a tip I can offer is never put the compost right at the root stem. Plant roots typically grow outward from the stem and usually to the drip line of their foliage. Larger plants will grow well beyond that drip line. I like to apply my fertilizer in what I call the root ring, which is the drip line inbound to about halfway to the stem. This will provide the most efficient application of compost tea and put it right where the roots are growing and where absorption will happen at the highest rate. Although the process is simple and there's still some ways that you can create a toxic concoction that may harm your plants. I already mentioned that overbrewing and going beyond the 36-hour time window mentioned will encourage harmful bacteria growth in the form of anaerobic bacteria. Using chlorinated water can provide you with impotent compost tea. Most of the problems with compost tea come from insufficient ratio or mixing in a stagnant mixture that will encourage bad bacteria. Just like anything else with gardening or any other type of science experiments, when you go to brew compost tea, you want to make sure your equipment is sterilized, so you start at a point of minimal bacteria. You can do this with some watered down bleach, that type of mixture, or some alcohol to clean your tools in your bucket. One note, extreme weather can also cause issues. If your plants are in distress, it's always a bad time to apply any type of supplement or fertilizer. If it's too hot or too cold, you won't get optimal absorption and you could harm your plants. It's going to rain heavily. You will wash away all your hard work and it'll be deleted. The compost will go down into the drain. Compost is not something you can store. It will go bad. And finally, there's also gardeners that will get carried away and think, hey, if I make it 5 times the strength or concentration, it'll do 5 times the good in my garden. That's just not the way it works, and you'll end up harming your plants. If you found this useful, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more. You can also visit us at www.thecelticfarm.com. Thanks.